Hello, and once again, we are live to the Modern Mystery School UK and EU podcast and YouTube channel. And yes, we are back with Al, and we are excited because we have got some mini readings. Venus is in retrograde. We've got two lovely ladies who have volunteered and put their well, let me tell you a story, Al. They were scrambling to put their details forward. So let's see what they have in store. How are you in anyway, Al? How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, I am super excited to do this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've actually been really excited for this Venus retrograde. So most people have this horrible notion in their head that when Venus goes retrograde, their relationship's going to die or that kind of thing. And meanwhile, this Venus retrograde is all about nourishing and restoring your heart. And so if anybody out there has been feeling irritated or kind of in a space of like, what more do you want from me, in terms of your relationships, this Venus retrograde is actually encouraging you to get back to your passions and your creativity, to fuel your heart so that you have love to give, so that you're not feeling empty and like you're running on fumes constantly.
Oh, I know. Isn't that lovely? Okay, well, let's find out some more. We have two ladies. Well, we had a lot of ladies that actually put their their details forward for these mini reads, and I said, well, we'll just pick two. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I took a look through everything and I chose two ladies who did an interesting thing. And the two ladies that I chose, so hi Jessica, hi Julia, both coincidentally from South Africa, having made a move all the way up to the UK. And the reason that I chose these two ladies is because both of them, were born in a place that would not have yielded a lot of suitors for them. Let me put it that way. And both of them, not only were born in a place that would not have yielded many suitors, but have moved to a place that would. And so congratulations, ladies, you made the right move going to the UK, both of you. And so what I'd actually like to do is I would like to start. Who have I got up here first? I've got Julia first. And so Julia, I hope you're ready, and I hope you're ready for the good news.
She's
So I'm just going to go.
texting me now as she's actually texting. So yeah, she's ready. She's ready. She's listening.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, just so everyone can see and follow along as I do this mini reading. Okay, and oh, let's see here. Oh, why is it not selecting? Okay, I'm having a little technical glitch here. I'm going to try and reopen these files actually in a different way. Um, oh, actually, I have a better way to do this. Here we go.
Julia's going to be logging on, so she's very excited. So good job we had the slight delay, because it's giving her a little chance just to
To pop on here.
exactly. And it's so
Okay.
interesting, isn't it, how these opportunities come up for us to really grow. And I love that the way you explain about the retrogrades is that it's always an opportunity to grow. It's always an opportunity to overcome, an opportunity to, heal. There's so much within that, rather than, I know that the common theme out there is that it's something to hide away from, or not to do things, or to steer clear of. And I love that on the path, as initiates, that we're always looking at ways to grow, to overcome. What's the biggest mountain I can climb? What's the next thing? How can I do this? And these retrogrades are just a great example of how the majority of society is saying, oh no, let's steer clear, let's be careful, let's not do that, and then that doesn't stimulate any growth, whereas we're saying no, let's push forward. So I love that.
Well, the whole premise behind astrology. Oh, there we go. I've got Julia's chart showing up there. But the whole premise behind astrology is that we can work with these forces. We are not bound by them. And in fact, I hate to use the word slavery here, but when our personality dominates us, we can effectively become a slave to these energies, and we allow them to dominate our state. And that's really not ideal, because in truth, who wants anything to dominate their state, right? We all want to be sovereign royal beings. We want to be able to at least have a say in how we feel about things and what happens in our life, and that kind of thing. And when you go back to the most ancient roots of astrology, that's what it was all about. It went beyond your behavior and your personality. It was about, how can I utilize the forces of the universe to manifest, to allow myself to be a better person, to heal, to serve and support others. And that's why royalty always had astrological advisors with them, because in their service, they needed every advantage they could take in order to create a better life for everyone that they were responsible for, effectively. So I've got Julia's chart here, and I don't know if Julia's going to join us, but
she's logging in, so she's watching us live.
Perfect. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, Julia did a really interesting thing, because, and I've known Julia for many years now, at least 15 that I can recount. And so for the majority of the time that I've known Julia, she lived in South Africa. And when we want to look at the potential of love in our lives, we always look to Venus. Now, she's not the only determiner of love and romance and marriage and all of these things, but she's a pretty good one. And Venus in Julia's chart happens to be hiding right close to the ascendant here. And so I'm not certain if anybody can see my mouse there. Uh, no, I don't think so. Okay. So I have, so on the left-hand side, you're going to notice a vertical line just above the number one, towards the center. And just above that vertical line, you have a green feminine symbol. And that green feminine symbol is Venus. And as the governess of love, or the goddess of love, I should say, her quality and her state indicates to us how love can come into our lives. Now, Venus is in a unique position here, and this is not something that I encounter very often, because she's in a spot that is effectively hidden. And so that ascendant, it's part of what's called the first house, and it dictates what's right in front of us. It's the things we can see right in front of us. But because Venus is just above that horizontal line, she's in the 12th house. And so Venus has been hiding effectively behind Julia's head. And so looking around, it looks like the opportunities are not there. But when the conditions of Venus are met, what you can do is you can take her from behind and bring her in front. So when Julia moved from South Africa to the UK, she actually fulfilled one of the conditions of Venus. So every country in the world has an astrological sign that it is connected to. And furthermore, most of the major cities of the world also have zodiac signs that they are connected to that might be different than the country. And so, Julia, when you moved to the UK, you already started that process of satisfying Venus. Furthermore, London itself is also governed by Gemini. And as Venus is in Gemini, she likes that you are in a position or literally in a geographical space that is ruled by the energy that she is sitting within. And so romance has actually become more effectively in reach for you.
I think
I
Julia's going to be very happy.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. And to top this off, one of the things that is going to be really helpful for you, Julia, and I know that this is right up your alley, because Venus in Gemini brings connections in um, like journalistic endeavors or literary endeavors or in the world of advertising and intellectual spheres. And so the more you traverse these realms, Julia, in London, in the UK, um, the more likely you are to meet a partner because Venus in Gemini is looking for her soulmate, literally. Or you could also effectively say her partner in crime, because Gemini were the two twins, Castor and Pollux, who were absolutely inseparable and loved each other quite dearly. And so within that intellectual sphere, or as I mentioned, within journalism or advertising, any of these information related spheres, this is where you are most likely to meet your partner. And so, not only geographically are you in the right space and have satisfied some of Venus's conditions there, but furthermore, you literally are tied to, I guess I could say, an industry that provides those kind of connections for you. And so it's really important for you, Julia, to just be out there and to be connecting with people who are in the communication industries, because that's definitely part of where your partner lies.
Wow, how exciting.
Yeah. And one of the things that you will know your partner by, Julia, is that he has a playful nature. And so he might be, older and more mature, and yet at the same time, there will be a liveliness about him. He will be in love with life. He will like to play. He will like to travel. He will like to communicate. He will be open to trying new and different things. And that's part of what will actually hold you together as a couple. Is that sense of play and adventure. And that's one thing, Julia, to always keep alive in your relationships, because that sense of play and adventure is literally what feeds the love and the bond between the two of you.
How wonderful.
And he will likely have a little bit of an artistic streak. As I look at Mars, her Mars is in Pisces, and so there's definitely a sense of the artist in him too.
Oh, that's so Julia. Julia, sorry, I'm speaking for you. That's so Julia.
Go get him, Julia. Go get him.
Easy peasy. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it.
Now I'm gonna switch over to Jessica here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So Jessica, same thing. And I haven't gotten to know you as well, but I know that you did originate in South Africa and you moved to the UK, and you will have no regrets about that whatsoever. Now, your Venus is in a different situation here. And so I have a little bit of a different guidance that I want to give you. Now, you have Venus in Capricorn, which is part of what's called a stellium, a grouping of 5 planets all in the same sign. And so you'll notice in the upper left corner of her chart there that she has 5 planets all in Capricorn. And so that's a lot of grounded Capricorn energy. And of course, Venus is part of that stellium. And furthermore, all 5 of these planets are in the 11th house. And the 11th house is the sign of friendship. And so one of the things that I really want to make mention to you, Jessica, because first of all, a lot of times when women have Venus in Capricorn, men can be a little bit intimidated of them because you show your love in action, and you're not the fawning type. You're not gonna drape yourself on his arm and do that kind of thing. And as you're a little more, I guess I could say, sober in your expression of care and affection, because you care about doing the things that matter, right? So you're not going to fawn on his arm, but if his shoulder is bothering him, you're going to do something about it, right? And so especially while you're younger, sometimes that can be misinterpreted as that you're not interested because it looks like you're just being helpful. And so very often when women have Venus in Capricorn, and especially in the 11th house, your interest can be mistaken as friendship or being friendly or helpful. And so it's kind of interesting because having Venus in Capricorn, you also are more attracted to grounded earthly types as well. And so sometimes you might have to spell it out for them, or they may have to spell it out for you too. But the good news is that, as I mentioned, you move to a place that is more conducive to meeting a partner that suits you and meets the conditions of Venus. And so, not directly in London, because Capricorn doesn't rule over UK and it doesn't rule over London. But I have an interesting place for you to go. And so I think I foresee some summer trips for you, Jessica. And that would be Oxford.
I mean, who doesn't love Oxford? It's like the most gorgeous city. Well done, Jess. I love Oxford.
So Oxford is actually governed by Capricorn as a city. And what I find interesting, because of course Oxford has traditional academic roots as well, right? And Jessica, because your Venus is not only in Capricorn, but also in the 11th house, which has academic ties, um, Venus, it really wants more of an intellectual partner for you, someone who you can share that mental bond with. And so and it's not that your partnership's going to lack passion or anything like that, but rather the connection for you has to begin with the mind first, and it will be the same of your partner. And so having that ability to have conversations, to ask questions, to learn new things together, to take in different theories and philosophies, and to have that mental union is the spark that lights the candle of romance for you. And so there is a good chance, Jessica, that you will actually start off as friends. And as friends, you will actually build that passion together, and form a deep and very well connected relationship. And the beautiful thing about having Venus in Capricorn is that once you find that partner, that loyalty, that mutual care will always be there. And that's something that when you meet that fabulous guy in Oxford, um, that you will be able to count on for the rest of your life.
How wonderful. Jess, that's a beautiful reading.
And so, I mean, these are very quick readings of Venus, but at the same time, like as I mentioned, I chose these two ladies because, just knowing a little bit about them, I knew that were starting to satisfy conditions of Venus that were necessary, for love to flow in their life.
So I'll just, quickly. So when somebody comes to you for these readings, then you might be able to indicate to them, if they haven't already moved or if they haven't already made, you can indicate to them how Venus might be more satisfied if they're looking for love.
Absolutely. And that doesn't always require moving, by the way. I just chose these two because they coincidentally moved to places that were likely to yield better results for them, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess that's, they're both on the path of initiation. So of course, that magic, they're moving with that call and that magic, they're connected to the hierarchy. So that's also very interesting as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And so when it comes to meeting the conditions of Venus, there's many ways to do that. And that could be in terms of the types of activities that you do that meet that person. So for example, let's say that somebody had Venus in Pisces. Well, if you go to creative events, or if you were taking art classes or going to art galleries, or that kind of thing, that would be one way that you could start to satisfy those conditions. So it can be the types of activities that you do. Yes, it can be location. It can be like their interests as well, right? And even the zodiac signs have, I guess you could say, types in terms of looks and that kind of thing. And so that might be part of it as well as too.
Oh, that's amazing. So if somebody wants to have one of these readings, if they're looking for love or indeed looking to nurture their love, or they can come to you and they can get one of these readings, they just email you. And what do they ask for? Is it a love reading or?
Oh, yeah, they could just tell me they want love. Just say,
No.
Alex, I want love, and I'll know exactly what to do.
Well, I think you might be inundated with a whole lot of emails after people watching this. Thank you so much. You've been so generous in sharing your knowledge and doing those mini readings with us, just to give people an idea of, what's possible, what's actually, how we can work with these retrogrades and our charts and such like to really bring out the best in all that we do.
Oh, this was a lot of fun. I've been wanting to do some mini readings here and there, and so thank you for allowing me the opportunity, and thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Julia, for allowing me to work with your charts, and give people an example of how astrology can help you with your love life.
Oh, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. It's always, when you're on it, we always have so much wonderful feedback. People really enjoy it. So thank you again. We really appreciate you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and happy Venus retrograde, everyone. I hope that you all take some time to just fill the well in your heart and feel creative and passionate and fulfilled.
Yeah, I love that. And we will see you all again next time. Take care for now.
Bye, everyone.